It's a Jewish holiday that literally sets the country on fire. Marking Lag BaOmer means a night of bonfires, lots of parties, and the study of Jewish mystical texts. Now, it centers on the life of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who lived during the time of the Mishnah. Joining me to talk about his life and his teachings in the holiday are Rabbi Noga Brenner-Samia from Bina, the Jewish Movement for Social Change, and Rabbi Yitzhak Marmerstein from the Rav Kook Institute in Jerusalem. Great to have you both here. Shalom. Love when you're in studio with me. Rabbi, I want to start with you, and can you tell our audience, because it's kind of a minor Jewish holiday, it's a little on the bizarre side when we look at the spectrum of Jewish holidays. So who is Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? Why is he important? Why is this connected to the Kabbalah, the mystical text?
It's very directly connected because Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was a major student of Rabbi Akiva. And he, because of his participation in the rebellion against the Romans, he had to hide in a cave, and in those years he spent with his son learning, and out of that emerged these extraordinary illuminations that are understood to be the secrets in the Torah, the secret lights of the Torah. And then when he came forth out into the world and started sharing it with his students, that's been an extraordinary. The Zohar is very important in our tradition of the passed down Torah. Rav Kook said that the study of the Zohar and the study of the inner teachings of the Torah, which are important for our time, are going to open new pathways in our understanding, and they are giving us the guidelines how to bring us back into the redemptive experience, really to the Garden of Eden, and not less than that. It's about how to return to the shleimut, to the wholeness that we began from.
Kabbalah, this mystical text, this was something that for centuries Jews were not allowed to study until they were over the age of 40. It was seen as antinomian, seductive, even dangerous.
That's right.
But why was that, and what has changed?
When we teach that story, we actually use it as a way to learn about how to balance the spiritual and the material. Because what happens when he emerges from the cave after 12 years with his son, he actually causes destruction wherever he goes. He's not able, he's so rigid and so otherworldly that he's not able to even adapt to this world and to see the beauty of God's work in this world. So he's banished back to the cave for another 12 months as punishment until he's able to come out and be able to do that balancing, right? We talk about that at Bina, the balance between study and action. You don't want the kind of study that leads you to inaction, which happens in a cave. We don't want that kind of study in a cave. We want the kind of study that inspires you to do action in this world, to do good in this world.
Right, and that ties into my question about why the Kabbalah at some point was seen as kind of dangerous, because it could lead people to kind of abandon the Torah and the mitzvot.
It was always studied by our serious rabbis. It's the collective teachings of our most deeply connected rabbis being passed down. And there was a time, because of the whole Shabtai Tzvi episode, it got a little bit of a bad vibe.
That was one of the Jewish false messiahs.
But it's always been understood that it is the return to Israel is accompanied by the return to the yesodot of our understanding. Yesod, foundation, is the word sod, the secrets. And the understanding is that these deep foundational teachings are no longer secret. It's for us to learn them and for them to come out, and their impact on the world will be very positive.
Noga, why is fire, these bonfires, the symbol of this holiday?
Right, so the bonfire is really, it's beautiful because it's one symbol that we all can relate to, but actually draws together several different threads of the narrative of the holiday. So one is the mystical and the religious, which the rabbi was referring to, and then the light, the bonfire symbolizes the spiritual light of the revelation of the mystics. But in more Zionist kind of approach to that, is the day is commemorated as the day of somewhat victory of the Bar Kokhba rebels in the rebellion against the Romans. And it was a time when some say that the epidemic ended, where 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva were killed, and the epidemic ended at that day. But that might actually be a veiled reference to the soldiers that were killed during the rebellion, and there was a slight victory on that day. And so the bonfires there symbolized the light of victory, but also the way that they communicated during the rebellion from one fire on one mountaintop to the next fire on the next mountaintop, to be able to send each other messages that the rebellion has started, is continuing. But also, last thing is because it might also signify that when the Romans forbade the Jews to light the bonfires to signify the beginning of Jewish holidays, because we were restricted.
Right. That's right.
So this is a way to commemorate our freedom, that we're able to celebrate the holidays as we
Rabbi
choose.
Morgenstern, the idea of fire also has a very deep Kabbalistic significance, doesn't it?
Well, the understanding is that this physical world and the spiritual world are intertwined, and in the same way that this physical world, this is matter on fire. That's what existence is. That we're living in a fire. The Eish HaTorah is the same sort of illumination of light that we can, as we learn to understand this light and open it and kindle it and work with it, we can create spiritual revolutions. It's the same way that our use of electricity and its extensions is creating physical revolutions, and that's our responsibility as human beings, is to be agents of the light of good, the fire of God's goodness, as it were.
Right, on that positive note, we're going to have to take a break now, but thank you so much, Rabbi Morgenstern, Rabbi Noga Ben Samia. Okay, we're going to take a short break, but don't go anywhere. We have so much more coming up for you here on The Holy Land Uncovered. Stay with us.